Well, I've been kicked out of my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys.
Hey, good morning, Victoria. Good morning, Texas. Good morning, the world. Welcome to the Wade and Carter program without Ash. There's no Ash. This is not a green screen. This really is a TV. Ash is not in. I spoke with Ash this morning. He's feeling better. He said he still sounds terrible. I thought he sounded about like he sounds, didn't you, Cody?
I did. So then that makes me wonder, does he always sound terrible?
Because he was kind of like, hello, it's me. And I was just like, well, hey, Ash, how you doing, babe? Good. Just no voice. But he sounded good. He was doing good. He was terrific. I wouldn't do that, but he did that. But anyway, he's on his way back. He's waiting on a ride in Tampa Bay where his Calgary Flames, lost last night. That's all I know.
They got destroyed last
Did they
night.
get destroyed?
Well, if you score no points in the game, that's
Right.
pretty bad.
Okay. Hockey. The hockey 30 seconds. The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by our great friends at AT Dillon Feed. Now, look, this is it. This is an important weekend. Get down to Dillon Feed. They're open tomorrow, I think at least until lunch. But I know they're open in the morning. Get down and get the 21-7-14 blend, American Plant Food. Just call it the Wade and Carter blend. They know. Trust me. Pull up. It's an awesome deal. They're high tech down there. It looks like a 50-year-old feed store. But when you pay, it automatically generates a ticket in the back.
Right.
And they will come out. There's a couple of guys. They're super nice guys, really. Helpful. Will come out with that bag, put it in your trunk, put it in the back of your truck, close the tailgate, close the doors, and you can go home. If you get that blend down this weekend, life will be better. I'm just telling you, you will thank us. You will look down and go, man, my yard has popped. Do I seem like the kind of guy that would be excited about gardening? I'm not.
No.
But when I drive on my cul-de-sac, and even right now, and I go, I feel like kind of sheepish. Honestly, I'm like, Dawn, look, our yard's greener than our neighbors. It already is, and the grass hasn't popped yet.
Gotcha.
And hey, it's science. You got to follow the science.
You know what they should do is they should take that blend out to their booth at the livestock show this weekend, and they'd sell them all.
Well, they could. It's hard to pick up a 50-pound bag of that stuff and walk around.
Yeah.
But 50-pound bag covers my whole yard easy. Highly, highly recommend it. It has changed my neighborhood. No kidding. People buy it by the droves, and we're very thrilled that Jackie Parsons told us yesterday, wow, we're killing it, that the advertising is really working down there.
Do you just walk around with a little
No, I've got a Scott's, that green.
You just push it around like a mower?
Yeah, everything's plastic on the thing because if it's not, the fertilizer just eats it up.
Yeah.
It's like putting it in the ocean. 50 degrees in Victoria. Partly cloudy skies. Going to be sunny all day. Going to be the same tomorrow. High of 77. 50 to 77. Beautiful day. Real quick list. This is a quick hit show. You can feel free to pull us through. You can ask any question. You're always welcome to call 894-4020. It's on the bottom left of the screen. If you're on Magic 95.9, welcome. Tejano music listeners, thank you for sharing your morning with us. 894-4020. Any phone call, welcome. Any abuse, welcome. You want to call and tell us how great we are? We'll agree. You want to call and tell us that we're a pain in the rear? We can't argue with that. You feel free to call anytime during the show. Interrupting us does not bother us. It's your hour. Ricky King, Greg Garcia, Will Vincent, the first three in this morning. Good morning to Scott Tomko, Justin Glass, Ryan Hopping. There's Mr. Faithful, Judge Posey. Good morning, my friend. Lisa Poole, Mark Kirk, Sherry Jacobs, Stuart Martin, Funk it, Trey Molina. Linda Chris, Stephen Castaneda. Hello, Carter. Carter's on his way to school. Good morning, my buddy. Bobby Leister, Monty Howard, Wendy Hughes Garcia, Buddy Stavanoa, Scott Snow, Junior Samples, Will Vincent. Again, he's there. Says the Ducks won last night. Crystal Mapp. Scott Tomko says flamed out. Jarrett McCrugan. Good day to you, brother. Andrew Alvarez, campaign checking in. Mark Zapata, Janie Alvarez, Micah Patton, Sarah Elkins. Look at that. JP Hull says he went and got that blend and it's going down on Tuesday. That means JP's in Rockport, reposing, resting. Today is Zed Stewart's birthday. Of course, we would
Never.
no. That's dumb. People that do that, you get as many listeners as we do, right? You know, if you've ever been in one of those situations where you walk into a classroom and the numbers are astronomical. If you've got over 30 people in that room, there's like honestly, it's like in the 80 or 90 percentile chance that two of them share a birthday. Now,
I didn't know that.
That is bizarre to me. There's 30 people out of 365 possible days, but the law of large numbers, it's almost a given. If you have 100 people in a room, at least two of them share a birthday, which is just, I don't get it. I bet that's the way it is. So if we did that, we would be bogged down constantly doing birthdays.
So the most common birthday is September 27th.
And my birthday is September 26th.
See, so you're not common.
I'm abnormal. I've got kids on the 23rd and 25th as well.
But September has most of the top birthdays. And I think all of September would just be birthdays. Like we wouldn't even
because
have a
people
show.
are doing it in December to stay warm. There you have it. Ricky King, Buddy Stevanoa, Zed Stewart. You know, there's a lot of love. If it was a birthday, Will Vincent, September 29th. If it was a birthday-centric show, Zed Stewart would certainly get a personal birthday wish.
Would he get a cake and candles? Maybe
Only
that
if I
blow
offended
out?
him. That was a great moment in show history. That was probably, 4 or 5 years ago.
That you offended Zed Stewart?
Well, no, this lady called in. We were on Magic still.
Oh, that's right.
And we were taking the phone calls on the Magic line. Brother Gary can tell you. Lady just called in early. Hello? Is this Magic? Yeah, this is Magic. I want to wish a special birthday. I go, we don't do that. Well, she didn't understand the joke. She kind of got her feelings hurt. So Wade and Carter, being socially empathetic, dragged her down, found her, convinced her that it was safe to meet me. Think about it. Come on, it's okay. You can meet me. I'm not going to abduct you. And we went and had a cake made and had her name put on it. And Wade and Carter gave her the cake.
That's really sweet.
I felt, she innocently called into the radio show. Lilo was like, man, that's above and beyond the call, because Brother Gary and Ralph Salazar, the Hall of Famer, they often give away birthday cakes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So we did that. Now, Heather Stewart could be persnickety. Let's see. She says, I didn't ask you to share it on the radio. I just shared my special Friday. Friday. He's going to kill me that you made a big deal of it. He wasn't even listening at that point. He's listening now. I mean,
you see the little heart emoji he put on there?
oh, yeah. Oh, of course,
He's a romantic.
A show the magnitude of Wade and Carter gives you a birthday shout. You've got to take it. Ryan Hopping remembers the cake now. We've had some stellar moments on the program. Very, very blessed to have. We just have fun. It's fun. Next week, Callie Frommy's going to come in and talk about the 100 Club. Very, very beneficial organization here. Provides, I call it life insurance to officers lost in the line of duty. Can pay bills for people and all that. But anyway, tons to talk about this morning. And I've encouraged the commander just to bounce in anytime, fact check whatever he has. But I found it interesting that I was listening to a radio program on Breitbart yesterday. It was this morning, actually. They've all kind of run together this week. It's been a long week. And it's a long week without Ash. I'm ready to have my partner back, and he'll be back in here on Monday. But apparently, if you were a United States, a federal government employee, and you decide, well, I'm retiring at the end of the year. If you want to be retired at the end of the year, like you had to start in August or September, paperwork and filings, and you've got to file this form and turn in your red stapler and give away the square trash can to get a round trash can. The government hoopla, if you will. 10 days ago, 10 days, not 10 working days, 10 literal days ago, this has been going on for decades. It's been a hassle.
Well, and we haven't told them how long it takes.
Tell them how long it takes.
3 to 5 months to be able to get retired.
And then, and what that means is from the day you announce that you're retiring until the day you get your first retirement-based check, could be 5 months.
Yep. The process to be able to walk out the door, 30 to 45 days, according to the Office of Personnel Management, OPM.gov.
In 10 days, Elon Musk team, the dreaded, the much maligned Doge team, in 10 days, they streamlined it to a 2-day digital process. Checks will be out the following month. Now, how can anybody be against that? And and they asked Elon about it, and he said, we just simply brought them into the 21st century. Just simply updated their system. Now, that goes right in line with something I had heard last week was, and I'm a big, if it ain't broke, don't fix it guy. I'm not looking for 21.814. 21.714 works like a champ. I'm not looking for that extra pebble of phosphorus or whatever. They opined that the codes for the nuclear codes literally reside on a floppy disk. The old time floppy. They were created in the 80s, the football, they got the black box. We're going to get on Air Force 2 and we're going to go, or Air Force 1 or Marine 1. And the guy's got the cuff on his wrist and the chain to the little briefcase. That inside that is a floppy disk that you insert into a computer. Not a thumb drive, not facial and retinal recognition. You got to wonder, can you imagine? Reboot. You're trying to begin nuclear holocaust, but you just can't. Very interesting.
Pair of scissors, you're done.
Absolutely. Andrew Alvarez says, hey, but that's like asking the question, who likes the IRS? The left will still find a way to glorify the IRS just because Elon Musk and Donald Trump are working at reducing its size. There's no doubt about it. Do you remember just back in 2016, which Trump's first run at the White House, and he referred to little Marco Rubio. Little Marco. There's little Marco. It's interesting that now Rubio sits next to him at a cabinet meeting, and Rubio's bought in. And look, I don't believe that Marco Rubio, even as Secretary of State, I don't believe that J.D. Vance, unless something goes crazy, is the successor apparent. Rubio understands what's going on, and I do believe that these folks that are involved in Trump's cabinet are true patriots. They're involved. Tulsi Gabbard, do you know what it took for that military lady who was elected as a Democrat? Do you know what it took for her personally to renounce being a Democrat and join the other side? Can you imagine anything? If you're a Republican, can you imagine any phone call? Kamala Harris calls you and asks you to join her cabinet, do you know how hard that would be for you, much less for a public person, an elected person, elected a Democrat, who decides, I just don't believe what the Democrat Party's doing any longer is right.
Right.
I'm going to leave and go. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. turned his back on his entire family. They no doubt, I mean, you know, it's crazy town. These people were not, these are people that ran against Donald Trump, that Donald Trump belittled, to employ the Emmett Alvarez phrase, it's just politics. Well, is it really just politics when you just personally malign people or get on them about their stature or whatever? Is that just politics, or is that above and beyond the call?
You work at the pleasure of the president.
Amen. And so many things do. Like, it's a great comment. You know, they talked about, and I got it right here. I have the Epic Times morning brief. I had it. Really, I did. Trump shutting down USAID, and the idea being that there's really nothing. Supreme Court has said there's really nothing that anybody can do about it. It's not unconstitutional, and it's certainly within his realm of authority as the chief executive. It says thousands of workers at the D.C. headquarters of USAID cleared out their offices. The terminations follow the cancellation of roughly 90% of USA-funded work around the globe. Now, we've told you this, and it's true. It's not just like something we made up. 1961, Kennedy promotes USAID. It was a very Democrat idea. Hey, we're going to throw some money at these foreign countries. We're going to show them how to drill water wells. We're going to teach them how to feed their kids. We're going to maybe give out vaccinations for polio and measles. Oh, by the way, while we're there, we're going to exert American influence. It's much like Jesus and the feeding of the 5,000, right? You feed them first, then you reach their souls. We're going to solve their problems with water. We're going to solve their problems with their crops. Think Africa, undeveloped areas. And while we're there, CIA people essentially working to hand out meals, but they're also gathering intel and shaping minds and recruiting informants. Let us know if you see anybody here from Russia. Oh, yes, sir. So that's how it all started. And it was genius, and I'm 100% for it. But now, 6,000 USAID employees. That's in D.C. alone. That's not in foreign countries. Those are the people that administer the money that goes to the NGOs. That's crazy, man. That's craziness.
So now that Rubio is the Secretary of State,
Yes.
is he also still the acting administrator of USAID?
Yes, and he was way too busy, so Trump just shut it down.
Right. So I feel like Trump's getting an earful of what that does and doesn't have the ability to do.
Absolutely.
It's not like he's just pitching this out of left field.
So he fired about 2,000 of these people and just said, you're permanently fired. I don't know if that was indiscriminate, like go A through Z in the last third of the alphabet, fire them. But he also, the other 2/3 will remain on leave, quote, while legal challenges proceed. In related news, a federal judge yesterday ruled that large-scale firings of probational workers may be unlawful. Now, I found it interesting. The judge, I'm going to open this and see if I can find it. The judge was named William Alsop. OPM does not have any authority whatsoever under any statute in the history of the universe to hire or fire any employees but its own. So that's the Office of Personnel Management. Now, what's interesting about that is, can you imagine a federal judge This is a judge in San Francisco, not a D.C. judge, not a Supreme Court justice. This is a judge in San Francisco saying they don't have in any statute in the history of the universe. Can you just see Donald Trump going, "You're fired. I'm replacing you." Now, does that border on a dictatorship? I mean, I don't know, but I think that a lot of these judges get out over their skis a little too far and they forget what they're there for. To challenge the commander-in-chief over sweeping things because of the way you feel is not a longevity. It's not a long-term play in your business. That's not the way to roll with DJT. Let's take a quick break. I want to thank all of our sponsors collectively. What a great group of folks and friends and families. Folks, these guys have families too. Veracruz Restaurant, get in today. It's Chicken Fried Friday. Get in and support Lee and Ida. Everybody needs, I say all ships rise on an incoming tide. Get in today and have the best Mexican food in town, period. Dawn and I travel a lot. We're on the road a lot. We were in Yoakum yesterday. Track meet. Safest place to go, find a Mexican food place with a bunch of cars in front of it. It's going to be the best food in town. We pulled in together. We looked at each other and said, it's just not Veracruz. And it's not. And it's a total package deal. You're treated like family, by a family. Get into Veracruz today. Do it for lunch. Do it for dinner. Chicken Fried Friday is today. USA Concrete Coating, same thing. Charlie Garcia works with his two brothers. His wife, Elaine, works in the business. They can sand it, seal it, stain it, paint it, whatever you need done on concrete, they can do it. Big cracks in your driveway, you got missing chunks out of your driveway, they can fix it. Give them a call. Allen's Wrecker Service. Allen begging you, be safe on the highways this weekend. Don't be a statistic. You wonder all the time, now, how did that guy get hit head on over here? Not paying attention. Watch what's going on. Keep an eye out. If you have a problem, get it off the road and call 578-6300. The Dollar Floor Store. Great folks. Studers, super. They've just come on board with us, and they're doing great work. Whether you need tile, vinyl plank flooring, do-it-yourself projects, you want them to help you find a contractor, they can do that. Hardwood flooring. You know what I'm saying. Get with the Dollar Floor Store. They're up there on Navarro. Go by and see them. Compadres Design. Great folks, banners, wraps. They wrap boats. They put your wife over there. They're a rapper. She'll look like Pam Anderson.
Didn't they wrap your Bronco?
They did wrap the Bronco. It's great. It's
nice
blue
maroon
underneath.
color.
Yeah, that nice. If the sun hits it just right, it's maroon. Yeah, depends on if the Aggies are winning. Right now, it's burnt orange. Paravita Wellness. Get in and get healthy. I think we coined that. We may have been the ones that made that up. I don't know, but the food's great. That's the bottom line. I've been doing this carnivore diet thing, and they make me a wonderful thing of eggs and sliced chicken breast. I always feel guilty, right? When you eat the product and you eat the source, at some point, that's not sustainable.
I was over there picking up meals yesterday, and she's close on her new restaurant, and it's going to be cool.
It's going to be really cool. It's very nice. So, and then, of course, Chesnick Furniture. Get in and see Bobby Leon and his whole team this weekend. They're open on Saturday. Beautiful store. What's cool now is you can go in and you can say, well, I want heavy leather furniture that looks like a law office. And they can take you to a sofa. Then you can actually pick out, well, I want this color leather, that color leather. It's almost like, well, it is custom furniture. And they'll deliver it right to your home. It's made to order. You can also say, well, we're kind of going a little more retro, and I've got a Roomba. I want my sofa up off the ground about 5 inches on those cool Jetson-looking legs. Well, then your vacuum goes right underneath it with no problem. They can, but I want it in leather. Same leather? Yeah, sure. They can have that done for you. Chesnick and Love make your house a home. Get by and see why you just always do better at Chesnick. Very interesting. This is not even in any of our reports yet, but I got it from Breitbart. 29 convicted cartel members, captured cartel members, extradited to New York from Mexico, the largest single-day extradition in the history of Mexico. Donald Trump promised, Donald Trump delivers. Cartel members extradited for trial in New York, probably facing at least life imprisonment in the U.S. forever, sending a strong message, an increasingly stronger message to the cartels. We're not going to put up with it. You and I both know the cartels. Just imagine if you had the ability to operate without borders, that if you had a cell in Kansas City and a cell in Houston and a cell in Madrid and a cell in Barcelona and a cell in Mexico City, and you operate an international crime network based on drugs and increasingly based on human trafficking and slavery, and you just weren't. Just imagine looking at North America and not seeing the border between Mexico and the U.S. or the U.S. and Canada. You just see a landmass. You don't see states. You see opportunity.
Pam Bondi said last night, Thursday night, President Trump has made it clear cartels are terrorist groups, and this Department of Justice is devoted to destroying cartels and transnational gangs. We will prosecute these criminals to the fullest extent of the law in honor of the brave law enforcement agents who have dedicated their careers, in some cases given their lives, to protect innocent people from the scourge of violent criminals.
There you go. And it's interesting because I keep thinking to myself, now we're in day 30 of Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Or 35 maybe. And these things are trending the right direction. It may take 2 years for people to go, well, I hate him, but you got to admit, that's kind of where I think at some point people are going to be, right? Like, well, I hate that guy. And don't forget, he took advantage of that lady in that Bloomingdale's dressing room back in 89. I mean, okay, sure he did. Sure he did. At the end of the day, they're never going to acknowledge that he's done something good.
Right.
But at some point, if things continue to trend the way they are, folks are going to benefit from these changes and modifications that Donald Trump is spearheading. He's not doing them. At some point, you've got to go, well, this is a pretty good trend right here. Government's smaller. I get it. And I get the frustration that some people say, and it's the left, but the left says, he's taking money from Medicaid. Subset, old people are going to die, and people that live in rural communities, their hospitals are going to close. Lie. And then they make the analogy, but he's just doing it to give tax breaks to his billionaire donors. Okay. I'm not sure. I remember the Reagan years. I agree that trickle-down economics didn't solve the world's problems. But the idea, the concept of tax cuts is always a good thing, right? If I can cut the budget, it seems like, and we're going to have Michael Cloud on in the weeks ahead, for the first time that I can recall, even including a big chunk of the Trump first presidency, we're honestly talking openly about cutting budget spending.
Right.
Michael Cloud, great congressman from here, has often told you on this program, the Democrats race towards the fiscal cliff. The Republicans merely walk at a fast pace. That trend appears to be honestly changing, and it drives the Democrats nuts because their modus operandi is to throw money at every problem. Why? Because that's how you get votes. And at the end of the day, no party more shamelessly gives up any semblance of moral values or principles than the Democrats in exchange for votes. You can't tell me that a guy like Peter McNally, great guy, 60s era Democrat, LBJ, JFK, probably really had Clinton bumper stickers, tolerated Obama. But you can't tell me that Peter McNally is really on board with partial birth abortion, picking up all your weapons. He's just not. He's not that guy. He's a fine Christian man whose ego won't allow him to say, my party has left me. Now, that doesn't mean that he immediately becomes a Republican. It's not an either-or proposition.
We've talked multiple times on this show about how if Clinton was running today,
He'd almost be a Republican.
right, maybe not 100%, but it's not the Democratic Party of the past.
How about if I tell you this? If a fresh-faced Arkansas governor named William Jefferson Clinton showed up to run today, there ain't no way this Democrat Party gives him the nomination. And I thought he was a flaming liberal at the time. Looking back, he's more conservative than George W. Bush.
Right.
And both were equally inept as commander-in-chief. Not lighten the mood, change the direction. I'm sorry, not at all lighten the mood. There's a Congo mystery illness. At least 60 people have died and more than 1,000 have been infected by an unknown illness in the Northwestern Democratic Republic of Congo, according to the World Health Organization. By the way, World Health Organization really whining that if the U.S. doesn't fund them, they're just going under.
Now, is this tied into the thing the kids were eating?
Yeah. So here's what's interesting. Yeah. Symptoms of uncontrolled bleeding, vomiting, diarrhea resemble the highly contagious Ebola and Marburg viruses, though lab tests have ruled them out.
Ebola.
The outbreak began in January in the village of Boloko, where 3 small children died within 2 days of eating a dead bat. What makes you and your buddies get together and go, hey, let's just share this dead bat?
What makes you eat Tide Pods?
I don't know, maybe extreme poverty. I'm not making fun of them. They're in the Congo. My picture is loincloths and starvation. That's my picture. I could be dead wrong. It could be like San Antonio. They could have a river walk. I don't know. 4 others died within days. 3 kids ate a bat, and they died within 2 days. A second outbreak began 2 weeks later in Bomati, a village more than 100 miles away, killing 45 and infecting more than 400. No link has been discovered between the 2 villages. They're testing patients for potential causes, including food poisoning and typhoid. Now, the country saw dozens of similar unknown illness, later confirmed as severe malaria in December, and is dealing with a wave of Mpox cases, which have killed 1,200 since early 24. Rwanda-backed rebels known as M23 have captured several cities, blah, blah, blah. It's just third world countries. It's just unclean drinking water. It's challenges with your food sources. It's just another world. And yet the U.S. would send USAID over there and hand everybody a cell phone and say, here, we're here to help. We're from America. Our aid, our generosity is misplaced quite often and out of place. I want to do a follow-up mostly because I really, really liked the guy. We reported yesterday, and we're among the first. I heard the report all day long on the radio about Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman passing away. Worth noting, much like the huge age disparity between Donnie and me, Gene Hackman was 95. His wife, classical pianist Betsy Arakawa, was 64. So 31 years, really, 33% of his life younger. Along with one of their dogs, they were found dead Wednesday. The cause of death remains unknown, And initially, there was no suspicion of foul play, but later reports suggested the pair had been deceased for multiple days with a scattered prescription bottle found near Arakawa. So Cody and I were just kind of going down the list. The fire department found no carbon monoxide or gas leak,
Check that off.
although autopsy and toxicology results are pending.
Sure.
We could understand. You could see a situation where Gene Hackman passes. They don't tell you where they were in the home. Was he in bed? Was he sitting in the chair? Was he on the floor? They don't tell you that. But Mr. Hackman could have died, and his wife, remorseful, couldn't go on and maybe took a handful of pills. Doesn't explain the dead dog. That's the kicker, right? Columbo, I got one more question. What happened to the dog? Ash said if she had taken pills and they didn't say there were any pills, there were pill bottle. There was a pill bottle scattered around. You could have a situation where the dog ate some pills too. Doubtful. Gene Hackman, born in 1930, says he had a challenging childhood, enlisted in the Marine Corps at 16. After his service, he briefly studied journalism before pursuing acting in New York. His career spanned over 5 decades with more than 100 screen credits and 5 Oscar nominations, winning twice. He won for his role in The French Connection and also as the bad guy in Unforgiven, the great, great Clint Eastwood movie.
Multiple of our listeners said that he was in the mudroom and that she was in a different room.
Okay.
So, man, it sure sounds like you think about all these action shows and movies that are out, and like somebody came in and like, took them out.
But you know, it was the French Connection.
Yeah, so far
Read
they
it.
haven't said that at all.
But he also, you have to remember, he was in Bonnie and Clyde. He played Lex Luthor in Superman. He was unbelievably believable in Hoosiers, loosely based on a true story from Indiana. He retired from acting in 2004, so 21 years ago, and settled in New Mexico, where he wrote historical fiction novels. Just a very interesting man, a fantastic actor. That short list, out of respect, I would watch any John Wayne movie, although many were average. I'll watch any Denzel Washington movie. I will actually watch any Tom Cruise movie. And I would watch anything with Gene Hackman. And what's the other guy's name? What's the British guy? Blame It on Rio. It's that easy, right? Blame It on Rio. English guy.
Michael Caine?
Michael Caine. Great actor. Great actor. So, yeah. I still think Denzel's my go-to, right? If I didn't know anything about the movie, think about him in Pelican Brief, and then think about him in the Equalizer series. He was such a great actor that when he did it was called Training Day, where he's a dirty cop.
Right.
I hated him. He blew my vision of him. He played against type. He's usually the hero, the good guy.
Right.
He was the bad guy. And he was so good at it that I was like angry at him for 2 films.
Sure.
I just couldn't shake it. I couldn't get it out of my mind.
Well, you have a level of expectation with him, right?
Right.
Like if he's in it, you know that theoretically it should be a good movie.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So we got to go back to the bat thing for a second.
Let's go back.
We've had multiple people ask, I think Torrin Bales was the first one. Could you and Dawn just add that into the carnivore diet and then maybe save a little money on your overhead?
No doubt. But here's the deal. You can't buy a previously demised bat. It's got to be it's like eating lobster. You have to take the bat.
You're going to need it fresh.
Purge
right.
him in the salt water and throw him directly into the bat soup.
Gotcha. We have a lot of bat caves in Texas.
Yeah, well, you just go to Austin and
Just
throw
go
a big
catch
cast
it with a net,
Sure,
like
absolutely.
a fish net.
Although you'd never get out of Austin alive. The lefty do-gooders would just kill you. Yeah. Yeah, they would get you.
I don't know. Might be worth thinking about if times get tough.
Good morning, Uncle Norm. Norm checking in. Man, there's so many good comments, and it's things that we've passed along. Folks, go back and read the comments. There's some great, great points. it's a tribute to you folks as listeners. You're educated listeners. You're learned people. You pass along things that just help. And Linda Christ, I couldn't agree more. Elon needs to just give everyone $5,000. That'll shut them up, no doubt. That was one of Torrin Bale's great advertising deals. Diamonds, that'll shut her up. Yeah, no, that was actually Ron White, but it was funny. Yeah.
Might be worth considering then for
But
Torrin Bales.
Torrin Bales points out it's the reason Trump, Elon, RFK, Tulsi left the Democrat Party. I mean, Donald Trump was a Democrat. He was a darling of the Democrat. The Clintons cavorted with him and loved him. Loved him. Speaking of the Clintons, that brings me to the Epstein list. So far, it's been much ado about nothing. Every source, I think I told you, may have already mentioned this on the program, but every source that I have looked at, Glenn Beck yesterday said heavily redacted, nothing really new here. Most of it is stuff from the Giselle, is that her name? Ghislaine.
Giselle is a name.
Well, Giselle is Bündchen, that's Tom Brady's ex-wife.
Right.
But the lady that was the madam, if you will, for Jeffrey Epstein, her name's like Ghislaine, or anyway, that lady, you can see her, Maxwell, that's her name, G. Maxwell. She, everything pretty much that's there came out in her testimony. Peter McNally with the confirmation he was in the mudroom. Thank you, sir. Gene Hackman will be missed. I mean, he hadn't acted in 21 years. I didn't know that. He's just that good that you just, So, Junior Samples, junior detective. No gas leak, but did anyone check the house heater for obstruction in the exhaust? That's where it would come from. No doubt about it, but don't forget you're in New Mexico. Probably not that cold.
Shut the door. The brother is here.
The brother man is in the house. That what that does for those of us that might be lacking content is it's just free time.
It's free time.
It's just free time because the brother man can bail you out. I can look at the brother man and give him that wink and he's like, am I like stretch? If I was like totally void of content right now, the brother man would go, I got you, bro.
I got you. He's already got another
You
hour
ain't
prepared.
heavy. You're my brother. There you go. Yeah, you just walk right on through. Like the people love to see you, sir. You just come right on through. There it was.
Right.
There it was.
How's that camera look for the brother on the screen?
Let me check there. That would be camera number 3.
Yes,
Are you kidding me? It picks up the halo on his head and everything else. It just glows. Let me take one quick break because that frees us up to then do whatever we want with the brother at our leisure. We talked about Chesnick Furniture, Palace Bingo. Get out this weekend. Family fun, great food. The snack bar there, it's more than a snack bar.
Love it.
It's great. The hamburgers are great. They have a fish and shrimp deal that you're just like, wow, all that, honestly, $8.50. It's great stuff. Get by there and have a great time. White Trash Services, White Trash Site Services. Haven't seen BJ Nelson in a bunch this week, which means they are busy at White Trash. Always busy. If you're in the county and White Trash isn't your service provider, you need to give them a call at 550-1826. Tommy Taylor called the other day, and I thought we were in trouble. I did, brother. I thought, did we stretch? Did we go too far? He called and said, I want you to know I think you guys are doing a great job. We appreciate you promoting us. I've made the comment here many times, and with no false humility. I don't believe that we sell one car for Atzenhofer. I don't. Atzenhofer was a big-time family entity for decades. All right, brother, all our lives.
All our lives, man.
They don't need Wade and Carter, but Wade and Carter needs them. And the idea that they help us promote this format, the ability that anybody can call with any question about anything, and now especially since we have the brand us, since we have Cody here, he will help us ferret out. He ferrets out the truth. And
help each other. I look at it, you help each other.
we are here. Atzenhofer, yeah, it's a symbiotic, but we are the Remora, and they are the great white shark. We're just clinging to the underbelly.
They're the big dogs.
They are the big dog. Atzenhofer, for your next vehicle, go in and ask for Tommy Taylor and tell him Wade and Carter sent you. It matters to him. he likes to hear from our listeners, and we appreciate it when you mention us.
His
there.
wife's always doing something good. She's doing some stuff
She
with
is
Habitat
like-
for Humanity now.
I've just heard
I was
she's
with her
like
earlier in the week.
a younger, better-looking Martha Stewart. You know,
She's very
that's
good.
how
love
I've heard her described. The chopping block this weekend. Get in. There's always a special, whether it's stuffed, quail stuffed chicken breast wrapped in fat. Get in there, put it on the grill. They've got steaks. They have beautiful tomahawk steaks for $19.99 a pound, and they're like 4 inches thick, bro.
My
It's like
barbecue
a-
plate was excellent the other day.
Unbelievable. Get by and check it out. And they've got the food truck out there today. Went services for all your electrical needs. If you get with Went, at the end of the day, you're going to find that they can either help you with an outlet or, gee, that light hasn't worked for 2 years in my garage. They can change the ballast. They can make it so that you can go from fluorescent to LED. It'll pay for itself in no time.
That's right.
Get with Went services for all your needs. Before we do anything, sir,
Yes, sir. Whatever you want. I'm on
absolutely want to tell you again publicly how much we love you, respect you, and appreciate you. And I want our listeners to understand that you daily do the show with Ralph Salazar, the Hall of Famer,
your time. We have.
and you're going to do it today.
Yes, sir.
But yet you take the time to drive downtown because our listeners demand it.
Know many of them too.
Absolutely.
Wonderful people.
And just wanted to share with you our appreciation and your family. You
means
know
a lot
that. You
to
know
me.
you and I are family no matter what.
We've
but
been family forever. Your
And,
mother, your
it's-
father, and you and I.
it's cost me tons of friends, Cody. Cost
Yeah,
me
if we
tons-
talk about it too much, we're going to find him up here sleeping one night.
right? He's got a Torrin Bell says, I have enough diamonds, said by no woman ever. Yeah.
I love Torrin too.
Yeah.
He's great.
Hey, Torrin is a fantastic guy.
Man, good.
I love to rib J. Paul Hull because he and Mr. Geets redid this building,
know,
right?
and
but
it's
I always
really
say
nice.
Torrin did a great job in here. John Paul just shakes his head and walks away. He just walks away.
Well, they both know what to do. They know how to do it too.
How are you? And tell us what's going on.
Good,
You
sir.
take the floor, sir.
Thank you, and guys, good to be with y'all. How's Ash? You doing better?
Well, he was good enough to go swill whiskey and go to a hockey game last night.
Oh, that's what he did. Okay.
Yeah, he's like,
Well, he's well. He's
I,
nothing wrong with
I don't have my voice. I'm like, hey, Barney, come home.
him. Bart.
Yeah, Fred and Barney here.
Well, we got to give kudos to the Quail Gobblers, Lady Gobblers basketball team playing in the finals today, state championship at the Alamo Dome, 5 o'clock.
So
this
they
afternoon.
played yesterday and won.
No, they played earlier in the week, won the semifinal. It was like Tuesday. Now, today is the finals, Alamo Dome, San Antonio, 5 o'clock.
Man, good for them. What a great.
Amy Allcake, Coach Amy
Absolutely.
Allcake Crane.
Yeah, no,
Well, she was
she's.
terrific. What? Tell them.
Well, we talked. She graduated from Victoria High in
I heard you talking
'83. She could play, Coach.
Oh, she played. She could
And
play.
just, I can still see her. She had that, she was all about the game. She
We're kin to the Allcakes.
still has that short hair,
Oh, yeah.
She's gorgeous, though.
She's a pretty girl.
Yeah.
Her eyes, beautiful eyes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And a
Family.
super sweet lady, married for a long time. And
Right.
there you go. Dawn Nicole says, by the way, there's prime rib today
Oh, well, she's
at the chopping block at the food court.
Hooter Sports.
Yeah, food, sports, whatever it is.
And I got to throw one more in. When you're talking about Gene Hackman, you remember the Poseidon Adventure? He was in that one.
Yes.
You remember what he did? And he was great in that when that boat turned upside down, his cruise ship, and he was there. And
Yeah.
Boy, that was a good one too.
So when you say Poseidon Adventure, I think of Shelley Winters.
Shelley Winters was in it.
Yeah.
She died in it, and so did he.
Yeah, I think
both of
Cher was in that too. I made that up. I always say about Cher. That's my hope that someday me, you, Ash, Cody, that we'll win an Emmy, or whatever that. Yeah, an Emmy. That's what it would be. And the idea being that if you're around long enough, they'll,
Oh yeah.
I mean, someday, brother, they're going to build a statue for you just because you've been here so long.
Knucklehead right here, but wait, we're enjoying life.
I can design that statue.
Brent, the key is, guys, Cody. The key is, ladies and gentlemen, have fun, enjoy what you do.
And give back. That's what you do so well.
Well, that's goes with the term. When you're having fun, you give it.
Cody, I've got the statue. I can see it in my head. I'm going to collaborate with the designers when it's time.
Love it.
It's the brother man. So picture like his left foot is on the ground
Right.
and his right foot he's taking a step, and so his heel is down, but you can see the bottom of his shoe.
He's always moving.
And there's a little hole in the bottom of the sole of the shoe. But look,
Where it
his tie is blown back and it's going over his shoulder.
Okay.
And it's the brother man always moving forward.
Is he giving the look?
I don't think so. I think he's smiling.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
think he's smiling.
I didn't know what in perpetuity we wanted to share. Was
Certain
it
places the look works, and maybe that's the
maybe
smile.
we need two statues. One of the look.
And the other one, like he's pointing and he's
Yeah.
smiling, and then the guy with the look is giving him that look, the brother G
Yeah.
look.
Maybe different places in town. So that
I like it.
okay,
They're both
you've been
necessary.
bad.
It's possible we may need multiple statues of the brother simply because he does appear to be everywhere. He could be
great idea.
the first cloning experiment that was successful.
I love it. Well, I just love what I do and being around you guys.
Well,
Icing on the cake. This is
you're
icing on the
fantastic.
cake right here, boys.
You're fantastic.
Yeah, we love it. And your mother, I love her. She's
Oh,
terrific.
Peter McNally says, watch Hackman in Birdcage if you want to let him know. Birdcage, was that like a maybe not Dom DeLuise, but was that about cross-dressing and stuff? I think it was probably Hackman playing against type
He was good in everything.
because he was Popeye in the French Connection, and that was kind of like being Al Pacino in The Godfather. It kind of sets the tone
Like
for who
that
you
kind
are.
of movie, right?
So, Brother Gary, have you been in any movies?
I don't go. Oh, I've been in some movies, local ones, yes. I've done some local ones down here.
Junior Simple says at the base of the statue, I love you, brother. That's what it says.
Thank you.
I love you, brother.
And hey, that's what I would say. I love you.
Amen.
Oh, all right. Well, sir, we got a little bit of sports.
You tell.
First, and the Victoria Livestock Show, don't forget, that is this weekend, the rest of the week. They got the George Strait Tribute Band tonight. Lucky Joe. You remember you talked about
Oh, yeah,
Lucky
yeah,
Joe?
yeah. Lucky
He's there
Joe in
tomorrow
Polito.
night. Yeah, that was one of them with Lucky
Bobby,
Joe.
yeah.
And then they got music tomorrow night. The big auction is Monday, 4:30. A lot of people still go to that. We had a great crowd for opening ceremony.
You know what they do out there on that big auction? You get out there about 2:00 and they're giving away cocktails because they want your wallet a little bit lubed up.
Well, they feed you and they give you plenty of drinks.
You know.
Well, I've been there.
You see there and you
Many
go, man, these people are popped. It's like 4:00 in the afternoon.
Have y'all ever been out?
I got 1,500 for that chicken.
Have y'all been to the mutton busting on Sunday afternoon?
I have done
Oh
that.
man, that's a good time.
The kids love it.
I just keep waiting for some kid to fall off and get trampled by a sheep, and the next thing you know, the livestock show's getting sued.
They've got them rolled up like a mattress and a helmet, and
They're low to the ground.
Protectors,
Stay
yeah.
low to the ground.
PETA could be there.
We need dog races. 55 of them, I think we had last week. 33
How did
contestants.
that
for the
go?
Queen. Oh, they loved it.
Yeah.
Crowd, yesterday it packed
Look,
inside there.
I
didn't
know
we?
your love of dogs and animals, but I've never seen anybody more closely associated with anything so ludicrous as wiener dog races, and that is you. That is your deal.
I love that. I IMC that and the Queen Victoria pageant. We had big crowds for both of them.
Totally different
Totally.
events.
One, I went home, changed, put the suit on, and came back and did the Queen
Nice.
Victoria pageant. I IMC'd both. Fun.
Absolutely.
It's good. On Ash has got a deal too this weekend. UHV baseball. They have a barbecue fundraiser silent auction, right?
Okay.
Saturday at Riverside Stadium. I'm pretty sure I got it. James Pinion sent that to me. So I'm sure if you go out there, they're doing barbecue and a silent auction. Doubleheader starts, I think, tomorrow at 12. UHV.
Awesome. UHV, Cody, I don't know. Can you figure it out? I had them at 15-2. I don't know. They are playing.
They're good.
Coach, they're good.
They're good. So we wanted to throw that out there. Now, all right, you ready for some stuff? What about Rob Gronkowski? Did you hear that he's saying he might like to come back, 35 years old, him and Kelsey, and Denver Broncos, he's interested in playing for the Denver Broncos with Sean Payton.
Wow.
He's
Well,
thinking
here's
about
the
coming
deal.
back.
A guy like Gronk, who got out of the league fairly healthy, and he's had a couple of seasons off to
2
heal.
seasons off, I think.
He's only 35 years old.
35.
In 6
He
weeks,
said he'd like to do it.
he
for
could
Sean
be back
Payton.
in shape. He's a tight end. He doesn't. He's never
16-2 for UHV
16
baseball.
and
There you
2.
go, son. He's
Thank
on
you,
it.
sir.
That's a good ranking.
That's a good
That
start.
is. And
But Gronk never runs more than 20 yards. I mean,
he could do it. Kelsey says, Travis Kelsey,
coming back.
can't go out the way I did. I got to come back. So he's back for another year. Coming
Now,
back.
had you heard, because I had not, had you heard he was thinking about retiring? Like if they
Yeah.
won, he was going to retire?
Possibly. We heard that, but I didn't think he wanted to give it up. That's limelight, man.
Yeah,
He's
that's
in the
right.
center of all the attention. The commercials won't come as many for him and Mahomes because they got beat so bad. I
Right.
don't think. I think so. That might happen.
I tell you what, I think that's part of it. I'll stay for another 25 million,
Yeah.
and well, like, but I mean, he's hooked up with Taylor Swift. Maybe there's trouble in paradise. Maybe, she's a billionaire. Does he really
A
need the
billionaire.
money?
Oh, but staying in that limelight, he loves it, and I don't blame him. He's enjoying himself. Okay, we got that. Texas Longhorns women, number 1.
Playing well.
Playing well. They're going to be the number 1 overall seed right now in the
I think
tournament.
it's a kiss of death, but but they are really, really good.
They are
And
good.
Vic Schaefer is a fantastic coach.
He's good. Texas A&M, number 1 in baseball.
Until next rankings come out. Yeah,
they're
they
number
dropped
1
2
right
this
now.
week.
Yeah. Texas A&M has lost 1, and Longhorns have lost 1 game in
Well, now, see, they
baseball.
lost 2 now. So they lost to Cal Poly, and they also lost to Texas
So
State.
they lost 2 now.
The Aggies
Okay.
have. And I think it's going to drop them down. I think
That
it's the
would-
best thing to happen for them.
They're
gonna be
number 1
fine.
this week, but that could change, right?
Yes, sir.
Texas only 1 loss, I think.
Yes, sir. Only
Okay.
2 Louisville.
Yes, sir. So did you hear about Carson Beck? One more.
No, I did not.
Carson Beck, of course, he's going to play for Georgia. He didn't want to go to the pros. They're only giving him $8 million to stay in college.
$8 million? No, wait. He was with Georgia.
Georgia. They gave him one more eligibility, 1 more year of
And he's
eligibility.
staying with Georgia?
No, sir.
Okay, where's he-
Miami.
Miami.
He went to
$8
Miami.
million.
$8 million. Listen to this, Trey. Brent, right here, we're looking at $8 million. He's got, of course, his girlfriend's playing basketball for Miami.
Right.
And then we look at his house. He had 3 cars, and one was a Lamborghini. Had 3 cars.
Just shows that he's a really smart money manager.
Yeah, and the sad thing was they were all stolen. Those guys are out there ripping people off. All 3, and Lamborghini was one of them. $8 million. Would you have gone to the pros, or would you stay for $8
No,
million?
because a rookie contract would maybe be half that.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to sit on the bench. Here's the deal. I didn't see anything out of Carson Beck this year that made me say he's a surefire can't, just like Quinn Ewers. I didn't see anything that made me say can't miss NFL player. He's
I'd say
a great
you're
player.
right on both of them. But
So,
why not take that $8
stay
million?
and take the $8 million? And by the way,
3 cars.
if he ends up netting 5 out of that, I mean, he could put that in the bank, 5%, makes $250,000 a year.
That would be
for
hard to go.
life.
Never have to work a day in his life.
If he could manage his, if he could, but I mean, it's security money. That's $20,000 a month forever, and you haven't touched your $5 million. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
to be
like
so
Brother
lucky.
Gary type money.
Right. I start school with like your mother
I
did.
know, I know.
And I give a lot. Okay.
Isn't that something?
You
Yes,
know
you
what,
do.
guys? Brent, you're terrific, and Cody, appreciate you, and Ash, wherever he is, get well soon.
JP says now Carter will start talking about UT bowling. No, I'm
JP,
the Aggies had a rough week. I mean,
what?
they had a 6-game stretch to end their basketball season, and it involved. I mean, it's tough. The SEC is tough, and Texas
They
has
are
learned
basketball
very, very tough. But the Aggies still have to play number 3 ranked Florida, number 1 ranked
Auburn.
and then they have to play LSU, which for them is a big rivalry game, and they've already lost the first 3
Do
of
you
those
think
last
Texas
6.
gets in? They're like
No,
13th.
no, I don't think
so.
Texas deserves to
They've
be in
lost
the
too
NCAA
many.
tournament.
They've
Yeah,
lost too
just-
many.
They're not good, but I don't say this very often because I'm real big about firing coaches, right? Coaches are overpaid, and if they're not performing, fire them. That doesn't bother me a bit. But Texas is going to probably have to part ways with a really good guy, Rodney Terry.
Yeah, he's good, but
He
they're
was
going to have to.
They're going to have to. You got to
I've
find a
heard
better
some of the
recruiter.
alumni rumbling
Oh,
about
yeah.
him being there.
Because now that you've got a great arena, it's exactly like the Aggies having Kyle Field, which is a beautiful facility, Bluebell Park, a beautiful facility. You've got to bring a team in that's worthy. And the Moody Center in Austin is gorgeous.
Aggies are doing good in most of their sports right now.
That they always like the Tower Orange when they win
Right.
and all that. At the Moody Center, of course, everything's LED, everything's high-tech, computer programmed.
I want to see that.
The minute that the clock ends, poof, they can light that building burnt orange. They haven't lit it burnt orange enough this year
because
they've been
the
losing.
competition,
Amen.
and they're not as good as they were.
No,
All right.
they're not.
So I want to let you know I appreciate you very much.
Well, we love
and
you,
thank
sir.
you guys. Pleasure being with y'all.
I'm going to show you. You're my witness. So Dawn knows we're near the top of the hour. That's my HEB and Sam's list.
There you go, buddy.
I mean, it's just it's just unfathomable.
You know what you're going to do?
I'm
Get
just a giver.
everything for her and do it
Absolutely.
as she wants you to do it.
I'm just a giver.
Don't mess it up.
And don't mess it up.
I'm just a giver.
Love you,
That's
son.
all there is. I love you
God
too,
bless
sir.
you.
Folks, it's the top of the hour. We're going to give you this 1 minute. I hope that you have a great weekend. I hope you're safe on the roads. I hope you tune in on Monday, and I want you to know that Ash will be back, and we love you guys. I hope you have a great weekend. Be safe, and God bless. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Take
Bye,
care.
folks.
I've been kicked out of my near every bar around.